Good morning, good morning, good morning. Boy, this is going to be a segue on my degree myth and how the recession exposed the myth of a quality education. Well, just when you thought it could not get worse, it did. I came across this little jewel just the other day and I thought I would share it with you. Well, really, it's not a jewel. There's a saying that diamonds forever. I don't know about that, but I do know that student loans are. Check it out. Senior citizens continue to bear the burden of student loans. The burden of paying for college is wreaking havoc on the finances of unexpected demographics, senior citizens. New research from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York shows that Americans 60 and older still owe about $36 billion in student loans, providing a rare window into the dynamics of student loan debt. More than 10% of those loans are delinquent. As a result, consumer advocates say it is not uncommon for Social Security checks to be garnished or for debt collectors to harass borrowers in their 80s over student loans that are decades old. I'm going to read that to you once again. As a result, consumer advocates say it is not uncommon for Social Security checks to be garnished or for debt collectors to harass borrowers in their 80s over student loans that are decades old. Now, this is something I've been saying. Let's not really get the thing twisted and put it in a proper context. Number one, you do need knowledge and education to be successful in life. That's a given. I personally don't think you need a degree to do that. I do think you need to be driven. I do think you need to have a work ethic. I do think that you need to know what the fuck you want out of life. Those things will drive you further than just getting a degree. Many people get a degree and now are bamboozled, hurt, led astray, pissed off because they're not making any money. All right, to really jump into the fray, just to really jump into it, there's a statistic that many college graduates love to quote. The unemployment rate for a college graduate is significantly lower than a high school graduate. And you know what? It's right. It's true. It's correct. But if you jump in the water and you go under the surface and you look at the rocks, you will see that that same job that a college high school student could do, a person with a degree has it. That's the skewing of the data. Sure, I said it in another video. Hey, if I'm an employer, and I've been an employer, I'll hire the college graduate over the high school person if they're like beans to beans. If neither one has experience, hey, I'll go for the college graduate for a $10 an hour job, for a $12 an hour job, for a $13 an hour job. $12.50 an hour is 25 grand a year. Unless you are making $22, $25, $30 a year per hour, you're not in the $50,000, $60,000 per year range. Did you know that? But once again, you must be able to add and subtract, weigh and quantify. This is the thing. This right here is proof positive of the things that I've been saying, because there's another statistic that people love to quote, that college graduates on average earn significantly more than people who make high school diplomas. Okay, if that is the case on average, why in the hell, there's two real significant numbers in that last paragraph I read. Two people in their 80s, okay? 10% are delinquent. You're 80-something years old, been paying on your student loan debt for decades, and you still have not paid it off. If you're lucky to be current, that is. If you're delinquent, you have two really nasty things happening. One, the interest rate is accruing and you're actually going to be in a position where you may have to pay significantly more than you borrowed because you're behind. Let's marinate on that. Let's marinate on that, okay? We're going to marinate on that. We're marinating. It's on the grill. It's cooking up. If the truth of the matter is, if those statistics of more income, higher income were true, why in the hell are so many people still paying off student loans not years later, but decades later? If you're in your 80s, you probably graduated, even if you graduated late, 22, 23, 24, 25, that means you've been paying on your student loans for 50 years. Do you get 50 something years you've been paying on your student loans? Now let's really jump into it. Who does that benefit? The colleges and the institutions that grant the loans. Understand, this isn't about making sure that every kid gets a high quality education, because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't cost that much. There are countries who spend way less money than we do who are kicking our ass on the educational aspect. So with that known, don't believe me? Look it up yourself. With those issues known, it's about the money. It's about milking the cow. Put up a video the other day about the sheep. If you're going to school and spending $100,000 on a liberal arts degree, you are boo-boo the fool. If you must go to school and you have to go to school, my suggestion to you, go to community college. If you want to graduate from some Ivy League school, go to community college, transfer your junior, senior year in, and do what you need to do. Because based on the stats that I'm looking at, quality of life, debt loads, and seriously, paying on a student loan for multiple decades like that, that is crazy, because essentially, it's not really, it's not a good investment. If that was a stock, it would be a sell or a don't buy or pass the fuck up. That's what that would be. But many people have, that was some great Kool-Aid, man. But, the aftertaste. Oh my God, it's nasty. Ugh. How come I'm broke? I've been saying it. Look at the total picture. Because any person that has a degree is going to staunchly fight you on it, because really, if you spend a lot of money getting your degree and you're living at home with your parents, I wouldn't really want to come to that truth myself. I really wouldn't own up to it that, hey, I drank the Kool-Aid, I made a bad decision. I wouldn't really want to make that admission. Now, I'm about to tell you something that's really, really ugly. But I'm not going to name names, because we don't name names here unless it's positive or you're an extreme current dumbass. I'm not going to talk about anyone whose unit I bought. But I have 1, 2, 3 people that I know. I'm not going to say they're friends. They're people that I know. And these 3 people either have filed bankruptcy or are in the process of filing bankruptcy, and all 3 of them have graduate degrees. Now, my dropout ass has something called net worth. Damn, did I learn that in high school? Wow. There's a fundamental difference between educating yourself, learning about life, the world, history, and making yourself a productive member of society versus learning to earn money. It's 2 different separate concepts, and often many of the things that you're given in school and college are detrimental to you earning money. I know it doesn't make any sense. I had to regurgitate that stuff for a few years before I really got it, because currently there's a lot of things that's going on with self-publishing. And once again, the educated class is going in and saying, hey, that's not the right way. I've looked at it, I weighed it out, I quantified it. But people are so thoughtful, so contemplative, that they can't add and subtract. Can't really just pull the grass away and look at the dirt and it's like, hey, this soil is worth planting some seeds in this soil. And this soil over here is fucking red clay. You have many people out there who are putting seeds in red clay and watering it every day and wondering why there's no bounty, there's no crop. Because you don't understand the foundation of how money's made. It's not about being a good person. You can be a complete asshole and make a lot of money. It's not about karma. You can be a complete asshole, make a lot of money, live a great life. And I do not subscribe to the life here is just to prepare me for the next life. I think you should live the best you can while you're here, because we don't know what's on the other side. We can hope there's good things. We can wonder and wish. And I have a feeling that the better that you live on this side, it's going to make it easier to be better on the other side. Just got a feeling, but I could be wrong. Don't know. But if you subscribe to that, there's going to be glory, and we need to suffer and strive and sacrifice and not do anything and be poor. That's your business. I don't think there's any nobility in being in poverty. I think there's none, not a lick of it. Let's just really chop it up. There's a lot of bad stuff that's happening, but when you really look at the grand scheme of things, it's a plan. Yeah, it's a plan. Just look at it. Why in the world would government institutions give 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 150, $250,000 to a person who isn't even 21, who has no credit record, who has no track record on how to handle money? Why are you giving all of these people such massive sums of money, yet a hardworking entrepreneur who may have a ding on his credit can't get 20 grand from bank? Why is that? Why is that? I'm going to tell you why. It's part of the plan in the domestication of America. We're a bunch of sheep. The United States of America was the greatest country in the world for one reason. We made shit. We produced shit, we invented shit, and we sent shit, and we put people in space. We were the world's leading economic innovator on all fronts. From technology to manufacturing, we were the shit. What are we now? Sheep, consumers. The people in our society who are contributors and producers are the ones who are making money, regardless of their educational background. How funny that's working. I did a video a while ago, the consumer versus the producer conundrum. It's happening. You got a choice here. You can keep your head in the clay and you can keep spreading those seeds on that dirt and hope something is going to grow. Or you can do your research and realize that black topsoil will grow a more bountiful crop than red clay. Stop putting your seeds in red clay and hoping for some crops. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Learn how to find the black dirt. The black dirt right now is becoming an entrepreneur, creating stuff, inventing stuff, doing stuff. The red clay, sheep. That's sheep land. That's sheep land. There's a lot of people on that red clay. If you look down and your wool is red, you're in the red clay, you need to get out. But I just want you to take this information. People in their 80s are still paying on student loans. And I want you to think about that. If they were so educated, why didn't it pop in their head that they needed to get rid of that awesome burden that was around their neck, dragging down their economic future, their retirement prospects, their lifestyle? Why didn't that occur? Because of the grooming of the sheep, the domestication of America. That's why. You're told it's a wonderful thing to buy a house and pay 3 to 4 times its actual value. If you just added $1,000 to $2,000 a year to your mortgage, you would knock 10 to 15 years off the life of that loan, because you're prepaying and you're knocking off a lot of interest. And most people don't do it. They don't do it because it's like the good money is to keep the mortgage going and take your tax benefit. Sheep talk. Anytime anyone tells me that their house is on their balance sheet an asset, I know that I'm talking to a financially illiterate person. If your house is on anyone's balance sheet as an asset, it's the bank's. It cannot be an asset on their balance sheet and your balance sheet. It's impossible. It's a liability. Only at the point that you sell that bitch and realize a profit does it become an asset. If you sell it and don't realize a profit, it was a liability that became even a bigger liability called a loss. But that's a financial education. Get yourself a financial education. I don't want you to be 80 fucking years old paying on your student loans. There's something wrong with that. Because number one, education was much cheaper back then when they got their loans. Just to tell you, it's a plan. It's a plan of debt slavery. That's the new sheep. That's part of the sheep land. That's sheep culture. Because if you're full of debt and you're not producing anything, or you didn't make that loan to start a business, I'm going to say you're a little foolish. Because I know, I'm stepping on toes. People are like, oh no, I'm an American, I can do what I want. Which is true. But don't get mad when doing what you want yields into you being in a position where you can't do what you want. Because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Because when I read stuff like this and I start running stuff through the calculator, I'm like, damn, I am so glad. And I know people are going to go, oh, nah, you should go to... I was thinking about this 12, 13 years ago, going to school, waiting out, finishing up undergrad, getting that master's degree. I personally think, and this is just my path, your mileage may vary, but going on that entrepreneur path and failing. I failed. I'm not going to paint this glorified picture of success. There was 5 really huge failures in my business life. But there's been 9 businesses, and the other 4 have all made a profit. That was my education. That's the school I went to, and it has allowed me to create business number 9, which fully supports me and pays all my bills and allows me to save in a recession. That's what a business education will do for you. It will teach you how to survive in a recession. A college education, it's just a way to hide from the recession, and that's what a lot of people do. Look at what happened in law school. Law school used to be I don't know what I want to do with myself, so I'm going to go to law school. Go to law school, became this glut of lawyers, and the last few years, the employment rate of attorneys has been at an all-time low. There are more college graduates, attorneys, all over the place that can't find jobs, who are doing completely and utterly different stuff, and they paid anywhere from $60 grand to $250,000 for that sheet of paper. Yes, I said it correctly. Sheep of paper. Sheep ba of paper. Don't be a sheep. Don't. Be a wolf. All right, this is Glendon, and this is part of the new set of videos I'm doing. We're going to talk about consumerism, current events, and stuff like this. This is deep because it impacts a lot of people. It impacts some of you, and it impacts people that you know, and it's not good. It is really not good. So what we're going to do going forward is work on the financial education of you. Getting your financial education up. Like, big one. Stop fucking using debit cards. A friend of mine just got hit $1,400 and the bank's like, hey, we got to wait 5 days, and they have absolutely no money. And I'm just like, I told you about this, I'm not loaning them any money. Nope. I said, no, I can't do it because I told you I had 6 months to stop using that fucking debit card. Get a credit card and protect yourself. But no, it's like, they're going to protect me. There's rules in place and there's laws. And here we are. It's the weekend. You have no money. You're broke. You can't get any money because you used your fucking debit card. Stop using the fucking stop. I get mad. I'm like, stop it. You're not protected. I don't care what they tell you. You're not protected. And when some really major shit hit and you keep using that fucking debit card, you're going to lose your money. That's what's going to happen. Clark Howard said it years ago, piece of trash debit card. Keep using it. Keep being a sheep. All right, this is Glendon. I'll check you out in the next video.